It's my pleasure to be here again this afternoon. My name is Dr. Felicia O. And I'm a lecturer in the Department of Languages, Faculty of Arts, National Open University of Nigeria. Some of us were not here last week. We started last week. If you were not here, just put something, let me know you, let me meet you. If you are joining for the first time. Please permit me to do something first of all, then we'll continue.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good. Now I have sanity, so we can go on. If you are joining for the first time today, just put in the chat box, I want to get to know you. And then your colleagues will also get to know you. Last week, we were here and some of us tried to know, one another. So if you were not in the class, somebody Emmanuel says new, fine. Just tell me your department. Any of us that is new here, just let me know the department, your department in the university. It's helping me to put in proper perspective my students because it's a mixed bag. We're from different departments. Okpajobi Mary accounting, okay? Who else? Mass com, fine. Entrepreneur, Iwegwe or something. So many are coming. Balikis, science department. Science department. Moses, Otupo Study Center. Which is your department? I'm not talking about your study center. Pelumi, Ogunbuyi, entrepreneurship, Usman, public admin, David's computer. Fantastic. More persons are coming in. Macha, CRS. Samuel Alalade, criminology and security. Solomon, yes, good day. Which is your department? Not the good day. Thank you. Fine, thank you all. Michael, criminology and security studies. Yeah. Conflict, Rabiatu Mohammed. Peace studies and conflict. Tourism, I love that. Information technology, fantastic. Many more persons are coming in and I'm excited about this. Ali, you said Katsina Study Center. That's not the question. Bashir, Study Center is not the question I asked. I said, which is your department? Engineering, Infinite Hot and 8, engineering. I don't know that name. Thank you. We can go on. We can go on. You can see my screen. GST101. Use of English and communication skills 1. Exchange of information. Last week we said some things. In the last class, we looked at the term internet etiquette. And then we examine the course guide of GST101. And for those of us who were here last week, you remember we asked the question, can the deaf hear? You remember, we asked the question, can the deaf hear? Right? Yeah, fantastic. Well, Lumi, I can see you, yeah. And then later we try to discuss the relationship between listening and comprehension. We were able to conclude last week that depending on the level of hearing challenges, a listener, even if he's deaf or she's deaf, can actually hear, either with the help of hearing aids or sign language. If you also remember, we noted that listening comprehension refers to listening comprehension. This is what we said listening comprehension refers to. So listening comprehension refers to a listener's ability to understand what is spoken first at the level of the language used and at the level of meaning. A listener's ability to understand what is spoken first at the level of the language used and at the level of meaning. This is what we arrived at as our definition of listening comprehension. The listener's ability to understand what is spoken first at the level of the language used and at the level of meaning. I don't know why Ibrahim is raising his hand. Is there an issue, please? Put it in the chat box. I'm not unmuting. Thank you. Just put it in the chat box if there's something you want to draw my attention to. So, the entry point today, based on what I've just shared, for a listener to be able to understand what is spoken, he must understand it first at the level of the language. He must understand the language, and then he must understand it at the level of meaning. So last week we mentioned briefly the issue of vocabulary. Your word stock. Your word stock, that's your vocabulary. So I want to test something now. And I'm wondering, how do I test this? Because I'm going to be sharing my screen. Okay. So let me just begin to share my screen. This is a vocabulary assessment I want to do. And these words, the bolding, you are looking for a word that is similar to this. For example, provocative. So let's pick number one. Politicians are often cautioned to avoid making provocative statements. Here are your options. You put them in the chat box, just pick an option. Politicians are often cautioned to avoid making provocative statements. Talkative, inciting, contradictory, persuasive. Just put it in the chat box. Your number one and your number two. Number two is Bala invariably turns in good assignments, but he procrastinates a lot. Delays, tells lies, argues, tries to persuade. So tell me if your answer to number one is A, B, C, D. Your answer to number two, A, B, C, D. Quickly look at it. What's the option to provocative, talkative, inciting, contradictory, persuasive? What's the option to procrastinate, delays, tells lies, argues, tries to persuade? Yes, put it in the chat box. What's your answer? Somebody said the answer is A. Balumi says C for number 1. Well, 2, A. Let's go on, let's go on. I want to see more. I'm seeing some options already, but it's flying, so I have to go back. Mwabudo says C and A. C and A. Okay, let me see. More messages. Opemipo, C and A. Olushola Peter, I want to see what you did. Olushola praise B and C. B and C. Okay, let me go on. I'm also B and A. Solomon Bengal something said AA. I'm trying. Abigail, you have no right to share your screen, so I've removed you because I'm in a serious business here. Benga, Felix, Ashiru Zainab, C and A. C and A. Cut is okay. Don't continue to post. Don't continue to post. Let me share my screen with you. Sorry. Hold on, please. Hold on, people. I'm going to 3 and 4 now. And as I go on, please, if you share your screen with me, I will remove you from the platform immediately. So let's go. Number 3. Number 3, we have severed our relationship with the opposing party. A, strengthened it, renewed it, tidied it up, broken off. We have severed our relationship with the opposing party, strengthened, renewed, tidied up, broken off. Number 4, the death of Musa is admonitory to drug addicts, tricky, fearful, high-handed, a warning. Just pick A, B, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, number 4, A, B, C, D. Severed, what is the closest in meaning here? Strengthened, renewed, tidied up, broken off. Number 4, admonitory, tricky, fearful, high-handed, a warning. Yes, let's go back to the chat box. Give us the answers in the chat box. Idoren says B and D. Chinwendu says D. Khadija says D. Amarachi, oh, I didn't get it, it went away. Mokhtar, DC, Adewumi, AA. Oh, my word, this is turning out to be more interesting than I thought. Solomon Gbenga, DC. Okay, cut. Don't continue to share. If you haven't found an answer, let's not. We'll go to number 5 and 6. I'll share my screen now. Just stop giving answers to 3 and 4. I'm done with that. So we're going to 5 and 6. Okay. Some local brewers used to describe it as illicit, hidden, unlawful, shameful, retrogressive. Number 6, our strategy is to adapt to the new situation. Adopt, adhere, adjust, admit. So pick A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D for 5 and 6. Some local brewers used to describe it as illicit, hidden, unlawful, shameful, retrogressive. Our strategy is to adapt to the new situation, adopt, adhere, adjust, admit. Hope you can see the screen. So let's start sharing our answers. Number 5 and 6 answers. B, C. Alex, B, C. Francis, B, C. CC, Chijoke or something. CC. Khadija, BC. Okpajobi Mary, BC. Okay, cut. Don't continue to share. So let's go to number 7 and 8. I wish it could be faster, but let's just go. 7, investment in uranium exploitation can be hazardous, doubtful, handy, unprotected, risky. The prospects are rather ominous. There's no joking about it. Sinister, attractive, tragic, promising. So pick the option that is closest in meaning to hazardous, for example. A, B, C, D, doubtful, handy, unprotected, risky. Then ominous, sinister, attractive, tragic, promising. So let me start checking the chat box. 7 and 8. 7 and 8. D, B, D, C. Solomon. I missed that. D.A. Nwabudo. D.A. D.A. Okpajobi, D.A. Abubakar Sadiq, D.C. 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 Okay, DB, Solomon Benga, DB. Okay, cut. Let's go to the next. We're going to the very last two. So we'll go to 9 and 10. 9 and 10. So here you are. The Nigerian economy has been most resilient in the context of international economic fluctuation. Vulnerable, tough, fragmented, dynamic. One of these options is the nearest in meaning to resilient. Vulnerable, tough, fragmented, dynamic. Then Danladi is a loquacious fellow, smooth and pleasant, good at languages, talkative and inspiring. So pick your options for 9 and 10. Pick your options for 9 and 10. Let's go back to the chat box. 9 and 10. BC, DC, Grace, DC. Mancha, BB. Bonka, can't say Omichi, Comfort. See, you just Abdullahi, Chibuike, DC, DC. Deborah, DC. Is it that we didn't see it? I hope we saw the question. 9 and 10. You saw the question. Can you do this? You saw the questions? Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, David. DD, Francis Agila. DD. Okay, I'm going to take my answers. There's no way I can know what you, you know. So I'll go back to the very beginning. Okay. Oof. So if a statement is provocative, I want to do something. I didn't know we were this. I didn't know we were up to 94 already. But you know what you wrote, so that's okay. But so let's go. So if a statement is provocative, it is inciting. Now, if someone procrastinates, he delays. So if you sever your relationship, you break it off. Then if death is admonitory, then it's a warning. Okay. So if something is illicit, it's unlawful. And you adapt to a new situation, you adjust to it. You adjust. Then if something is hazardous, it's a risk. And if something is ominous, it's sinister. Then if something is resilient, it's tough. If a person is described as loquacious, he talks, and he talks and talks. And perhaps that is why I decided to mute you all, because a few of you may actually be loquacious, and I need my sanity. So how many of us got up to 5? How many of us got up from 7 to 10? How many of us got from 7 to 10? Just put it here. You don't have to say I got 7 to 10. If you got 3, there's no need. You don't have to be there. Just tell me what you got, please. I got 6. Benga got 5. Somebody said I just failed 1. Fantastic. Who is that? Bright. Nwulu. That's fantastic. Go on, 4 new messages. Somebody said he got 10. Samuel. Oh. Mancha got 6. Not bad. Adam Moses got 8. I got 3. Wow. Wow. Akiola got, Oluseyi got 9. I got 6. I got 4. Oyema Kinde got 7. Kindness, you got 5. Some Ezechuku got 8. Mashiu got 5. Tosu Esther got 7. Okay, fantastic. We can stop posting. If you check, not many got 10. In fact, I saw only one. Saw only one person who got 10. No problem at all. But the person who got 3, that's a challenge for you. Because you're a university student. So if you're getting 3, that means you have to do a lot of work on yourself. Okay, that means your entry point in terms of what talk is poor. Even for 5, you have to work on yourself. Anything 1 to 5, please, I think you should, all right? It's not to discourage, it's just to let you know there's work for you to do. All right? Fantastic. I have very good students, yeah? I'm happy nobody is lying. I mean, if I had about 10, 15 saying they got 10, I would become worried. Because this is spontaneous on the spot, you know. I'm not saying you can't get it, but I'm saying it's spontaneous. And when it's spontaneous, you may even have the answer. You may remember later. Okay, and all that. I'm not working on page. Who is asking for page? Leave page alone and just flow with my class. Just keep flowing. Leave page alone. When I want to go to page, I will tell you about page. That was not meant to be a page matter. Okay, now let's go on. Now, today we're going to be looking at another aspect, which is note-taking and note-making. You know? And I want to start by saying, you need to know why you take notes or make notes as a student. When you know, it helps you, it guarantees effectiveness, it helps. Okay? And you know, listening comprehension is connected to note-taking and note-making. In fact, I must say this. In academics, or you are in the elite class now, you will do a lot of note-making and note-taking all through your life. Okay. On a lighter side, I said I would study law because I felt I was going to keep reading. I didn't want that. But when I came into English, I discovered it was still going to be a lifetime of reading. So I have accepted it. So I'm reading now, all right? So, and of course, when you read, when you listen, you are going to have to do note-making and you're going to do note-taking. A lot of it. A lot of it. So we're coming, that's where we are this afternoon. So why do I take notes? I will share my screen with you. This is actually in your course material, but there's no need when you can look at it straight from my screen. Why do I take notes and why do I make notes as a student? Do you know? I want to explore a new topic. I want to prove a specific point. I want to add to knowledge of a subject. I want to answer a specific question. And I want to learn how to do something. For any of these reasons and more, you will need to take or make notes. For any of this. To explore a topic, to prove a specific point, to add to knowledge, to answer a specific question, to learn how to do something. As a student, you will need to take notes. Now I'm going back to share my screen. I want to whet your imagination. So here you are. Does this look familiar? Does this look familiar? Please put in the chat box. What do you think the first image is about? I'll share again, but you can put in the chat box. What do you think this is about? And what do you think this is about? Let me see if I can separate this so that you're not getting confused. This is a second image. This is the first image. What do you think? 1, 2. What are they about? A lecture session. Somebody said note taking. Yeah, let's go. Gbemga Longer said note taking. Ezechuku said a lecture section. Passing information. Okori said a class with students listening. Lecture class. Abubakar, Idris, Bonka, Richard, note taking. Somebody said they are learning. Of course they are learning. That's not. Oye Makinde said note taking. Somebody said in the classroom. Responding and listening, note taking, Chibuike. Kindness, the lecturer is giving a lecture. Thank you. Please hold on. Please hold on. Those who saw this as a lecturer teaching in a class, that's a very fantastic observation. You have to develop your ability to, you know, the fact that we said note taking doesn't mean the answer will not be note taking. They could be in this class and refuse to take notes, but the fact that this is a teacher and these are students, and in this class, well, this could be a presentation for, you know, audience, students listening to a presentation, participants listening to a presentation. It could also be a classroom situation. They could be in a seminar or whatever, okay? We got that. Because when you get that, the next thing I'm going to say now will now make sense. Now, note taking is done when you write during lectures, speeches, seminars, tutorials, workshops, etc. That's when you take notes during lectures, speeches, seminars, tutorials, workshops, etc. Note taking ensures that you're an active and involved listener. You do this activity during lectures, speeches, seminar, tutorials, workshop. Thank you. I want to share my screen again. Hope you can see my screen. Now, here is a situation. Here is a situation. So just write for me in the chat box. What is this first image, the second image? These two I've just shared. No, I'm talking about these new ones I've just shared. Okay, let me share again. Somebody said library, Grace, fantastic. Onikeku, library, students in the library, Khalid. Thank you. Yes, let's go on. Nobody is saying something about the second one, the second image. Let me share again, please. Let me just share for the last time. Please zoom so that you can see it easily. Zoom from your head. Can you see this? Zoom and look at it. Number 1, number 2. A student studying in a library, number 1, Okon Mary. Second image has someone taking notes. Student copying from textbook, second image, Khalid. Fantastic. Second one is taking notes. Second image talks about a student writing down. Student reading in a library. The second one is taking notes and all. Let me go back. Yeah, this is a library. This is a library. You can see the students. You can see these two participants. They are obviously reading or studying. You see, there's no teacher here. There's no lecturer here. In this one, this lady seems to be doing her work alone. But you can see a textbook, and somebody was fantastic enough to notice that it looks as if she's copying from a book. 3 participants raised their hands. I don't know what for. Please put in the chat box. Just write whatever you want to write in the chat box so that we're not getting distracted. We'll still unmute later. Now, for note making. Now, this is a process that is necessary. It comes after you take down notes. For example, Khalid has gone to class. He's a computer science student. He has attended GST101, for example, and he took down notes. Now he goes to the library to study more on what he has learned. So he has books. He consults more materials and all that. And he now jots, he writes more from those materials. Now, during that time he's doing that, is his study time. So that activity of jotting down more information, more pieces of information on what he has learned, that process is now note making. That is note making. He's reading textbooks. He's looking at journal articles. He's looking at even his own lecture notes and other study materials, the course material, for example. And he's writing down things, extra information that is gathering from here and there. And so in note making is much more and a more active process in which you need to assimilate and understand the information in the study materials before you write out your notes. I hope we are following. I want to be so sure we are. So note taking, I do that when I come to class. For example, we're in class now. And I'm saying 1 or 2 things you're saying. When you go back to study, either in a library or in your house or somewhere, you just hide somewhere, pick some other textbooks, pick even the notes you have taken. You study, you write more, you jot down information, then you are making notes. Okay, so we come back to another activity. Okay, let me share my screen with you. This activity is based on the explanation I've just given now. So number 1, when reading a book in the library, what do? Do I take note or make note? Just write it. Number 2, when I'm consulting an encyclopedia, do I make note or do I take note? Just write it somewhere. Number 3, when I'm reading a recent journal, do I make or take notes? When I'm attending a distinguished annual lecture, do I take notes or do I make notes? 5, when I'm listening to a documentary or watching, whatever, do I make notes or do I take notes? Number 6, when you are in the reference section of a library, do you make notes or do you take notes? Number 7, when you're listening to a budget broadcast, do you take notes? Do you make notes? Number 8, when you are consulting yellow pages, do you make notes or do you take notes? When you are in a crucial meeting, You make notes, you take note. When you are consulting an open university directory, do you make notes? Do you take notes? Did we follow? Were we able to follow? Or do I need to go back? Huh? It's like we were able to follow, right? Okay. When I'm reading a book in the library, do I make notes or do I take notes? When I'm consulting an encyclopedia, do I make notes? Do I take notes? When I'm reading a recent journal, do I make notes or do I take notes? When I'm attending a distinguished annual lecture, do I make notes or do I take it? When I'm listening or watching a documentary, do I make notes? Do I take notes? When I'm in the reference section of the library, do I make note? Do I take note? When I'm listening to a budget broadcast, do I make or take note? When I'm consulting yellow pages, do I make notes or take notes? When I'm in a crucial meeting, do I make notes or take notes? When I'm consulting an open university directory, do I make notes? Do I take notes? Yeah, okay. I hope we saw it now. So I'm going to go back. I'm going back now to give so that we look at the answers. And then you can tell me if you got 10, if you got okay, so when I'm reading a book in the library, of course, I make notes. When I'm consulting an encyclopedia, I'll make notes. When I'm reading a recent journal, I'll make notes. When I'm in a distinguished annual lecture, I will take notes. When I'm listening or watching a documentary, I will take notes. When I'm in the reference section of the library, I will make notes. Now, when I'm listening to a budget broadcast, I will take notes. When I'm consulting yellow pages, I will make notes. When I'm in a crucial meeting, I will take notes. And when I'm consulting an open university directory, I will make notes. So how many of us got 10? I got 10, peace. I got 8. Oluwasegun, I got 8. Mancha got 8. Ezechuku got 9 or something. Simeon got 10. Opajobi Mary got 7. Grace got 9, fantastic. Akujuru got 9 or 8. Benga got 8 or something. Somebody said he missed the last one, sorry. Amarachi got 7. Siu Idris got 9. Promise got 7. Akinshola. Adeumi Fatai got 10. Phyllis got 8. Khadija got 8. Abubakar Idris got 8. Moses Adai got 8. Thank you. So Abubakar got 10. Jude got 5 or something. Wow. I got 10. Fantastic. I got 9. Thank you. We can stop. Now, if I want to take notes at lecture, you don't, and people do that a lot in religious places. For example, in the church, as soon as somebody is talking, you are jotting, you are writing. What on earth are you writing? What do you know that the person said? When you get to a lecture, you calm down. You don't start as soon as the speaker begins to speak. You don't start taking notes. Otherwise, you will write a lot of irrelevant points. You listen carefully first to what the speaker is saying. You try to understand. Remember listening comprehension? You try to understand what the speaker is saying. And then you take down notes. Only when you understand what the speaker or lecturer is saying. I go back again. You wait. You listen first. You understand what the speaker is saying. And then you write only the summary or main points from what the speaker is saying. You can't write all that the speaker or lecturer is saying. And you will understand that when you get to your exam. There is a way you will write, you take notes. You will become tired when I'm talking from experience as a student. Oh my word, you don't want to know it. My 100 level in the University of Lagos, philosophy. I had so many books, so many things written. Ah, my word. So when it was time, a night to exam, I brought out everything. I was tired. I didn't know where to start. Oh. And do you know it? I got a C because of that. I know I could have, if I left the exam, I wept. I wept. I had not seen my results. I mean, we just left the exam. I started crying from the exam. I knew I won't fail. But my plan was to have an A. But I went the wrong way. I became overwhelmed. I was tired. I didn't know what to read. I didn't know where to start. God have mercy. And so when I got into when it was time, I just packed everything up. I went to take them. When I left, I was crying. I knew I wasn't going to get the A, and I wasn't sure I was going to get the B, and I didn't get any of the two. So your point of passing is from the point of knowing how to take your notes. So you don't just start jotting and jotting and jotting and making many books. For the Christians among us, the Bible says, and in making of many books, there shall be no end in this. So you can continue to make books. So just jot down the relevant things. Take your summary, and you are good to go. So that when you now go to do your note making, things will be organized, things will be, they will make sense, if I can use that. And then, you know, when you're taking notes, because you can't write all that the lecturer is saying, but there are so many things he's saying that make sense and you want to put down, you have to use abbreviation. We know abbreviation. Can somebody just go to the chat box? Give me examples of abbreviations. The ones you can tell. Just give me example, abbreviation. Let's go to chat box. Try and remember one. And now OBJ. Who is trying to be funny here? Okay, IE, that is EG, example, ESP, DAT, that, EG, OBJ, yes, STH, something, ETC, yeah. Yeah, fantastic people. Thank you. Yeah, so you have an idea. But may I say something also? Don't overuse abbreviations. Hope you're getting it. Don't overuse. Because that's another point of crisis. Don't overuse abbreviations and make sure you know the meaning of the abbreviation you're using. Because when you come back to read, it may become a problem. And then, of course, you can use symbols. We're going to chat now. I want to see symbols. Can you give me some symbols? Examples of symbols. Symbols. No, we're through with abbreviations. Yeah, fantastic. I'm seeing art, the symbol for art. Aha. Yeah, that The symbol for and, ampersand. We call it ampersand in English. That symbol, yes, that's ampersand. Then the question symbol, percentage. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Equal to another. Of course, I have scientists here, so definitely. So you write points, don't write full sentences. And don't be too brief either, so that you don't lose the meaning of what you're writing. And then the last thing I'm going to say on that, legibility. What is legibility? What does it mean to be legible? If your handwriting is poor, better go and do something about it. Do some, and I'm saying it with all sense of seriousness. I suffered a lot from that. A friend told me that my brain thinks faster than my hand. Oh, I don't know which one is thinking faster. You know, he said either my brain, either he said it's a sign of the brain thinking faster than the hand or something, I don't know. But it got to a point, a lecturer had to call me and say, do you want to know the truth? Do you want to hear the truth? Please do something about your handwriting. So make sure you work on your handwriting and make sure you keep getting better at it. Please, just keep getting better at it. Okay, all of these things affect note taking and even note making later. Okay, so I'll say something also. My time is already, I'm coasting already. It's been a fantastic class, but let's go on. There's an aspect I want to talk. Listening for information retrieval. I'm a student, and we are going to do a lot of information retrieval, what we call extracting information. You're going to extract from data, from the books you read, from lectures, and we have started talking, we mentioned it in note taking. Now, information retrieval. Listening for information retrieval has to do with listening to extract information. And it is expected that when we go for lectures, seminar presentation, etc., we try to extract information. Now, there are three aspects to information retrieval. I'm just going to mention them. There are three aspects. As a student, you may have to retrieve information in form of instruction. You may need to extract from the point of direction, and you may need to, let me just see if I'm going to be able to share this. Oh, there's something beautiful I wrote. And then you are going to, you retrieve from facts, from instruction, from direction. I'm going to quickly show you some things now, okay? And then I guess from the point of chatting, we'll continue. As a student, it's possible you've seen this before. Leave, I will say, I could put here, leave all windows open for good ventilation. Leave all windows open for good ventilation. I could say here, unplug all electrical appliances immediately your TV set begins to give off smoke. When you have things coming like this, instruction, you want to retrieve information in this situation. Now, the information you need to retrieve has to do with instruction. Of course, when you go to write your exam, you need this a lot. You need this as a student. You have to know how to extract information when it comes in form of instruction. Now, as a student, you may want to go for, what do we call this, excursion and all that. You want to retrieve information in form of direction. The information is coming, but it's coming in form of direction. So directions show steps to be taken. Information on location, situation, time, place. I'm going to share my screen with you. There's this beautiful article I extracted. Please hold on. We're almost done with the class, but let me share this beautiful article I extracted from, I think, The Guardian or something. An unforgettable train trip to Abeokuta. A trip to Abeokuta will make you experience the entire culture of the Egba people. During weekends, the train from Lagos leaves at 8:30 a.m. from the old terminal at Alagomeji, Yaba. The new mega terminal is at the final stages of construction. A standard ticket to Abeokuta costs around 2,000. Business class and first class, 4,600. The trains leave at exactly 8:30. It is crucial to get there early enough to purchase your ticket. Payment for a ticket at the train station in Alagomeji is only by cash. Takes around 1 hour 30 minutes to get to Abeokuta station. That is Professor Oshoyinka terminus. I think not too sure I was able to, sorry. It's so sweet. I thought I actually did more. But you see it coming in form of direction. You have to go to a trip to Abeokuta. You are going to meet Egba people. Now, a train will take you from Lagos. It will leave at 8 a.m. and it will leave from Alagomeji in Yaba. Then see the cost. See where it will eventually stop you, Professor Oshoyinka terminus in Abeokuta. Direction. So for a student who wants to do well, you have to be able to extract information based on directions given. And then as the student, the last one, you have to be able to extract information based on facts. You pay attention to facts as a student. Attention is to facts, not to fables, not to opinions. So when I want to study entrepreneurship, for example, if I want to retrieve information on entrepreneurship, I've got to look for facts and I extract those, not opinions. And then, of course, you also retrieve information for general impression. Sometimes you extract information just for general impression. For example, as when you go to class, sometimes it is not to get facts, get a direction. You just want to have an idea of what the course is about, of what that class, that lesson is about. All right. And when you get it, you are good to go. And in order to retrieve data, you've got to listen attentively. And then you take down notes on the relevant data. You listen attentively. For example, this is where I'm going to stop. Let me share my screen with you. Sorry about the background noise. It's something I cannot avoid. But let me show you this. Let's do this. 50% of modern marriages end in divorce. Can you see this? 50% of modern marriages end in divorce. Please go to the chat box and tell me, what does that mean? 50% of modern marriages end in divorce. Give me the answer. 50% of modern marriages end in divorce. No, not what's the meaning? What is the message? Just give it to me, not the fact that it's a fact. What's the message there? %50 of modern marriages end in divorce. What does this mean? If you have to put it in your words, what does this mean? 50% of modern marriages end in divorce. I want to see if somebody is sharp to get it. 50% of modern marriages end in divorce. What does that mean? Frequent broken marriages, early couple marriage, no. Lack of understanding, no. 50% of modern marriages end in divorce. Half, fantastic. Who gave me half? Who mentioned half? I'm trying to go back. I want to get that. That is. Somebody mentioned half. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Oh. Okay, I think I've gone beyond the answer. Somebody wrote half. Okay. But the person who said half, sharp. Adewumi Fatai. Are you the one that said half? Okay, because I see your hand raised. I don't know what you raised it for. But the person who said half, thank you. 50%. You have to be critical, though. Felix, are you the one? Thumbs up. You're a student, you have to hone down, you have to hone in on it and do it sharp. 50% is what gives you the indication that the writer is saying half of modern marriages end in divorce. Now I can unmute us all. You are free to unmute now.
Hello,
I wish we could do this, you know, but today I have 90. My next one is going to be up to 200. If I do this, you will practically go crazy. Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.
That was very interesting.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
So enjoy the week.
Yeah, enjoy your lecture, ma.
Thank you so much.
Great facility.
Somebody doesn't want me to go, but I have to. Have a nice week. God bless us all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.